NXT Stand and Deliver is over. I will be going over my thoughts on every match and how well I did on my predictions every match, and anything else I have to say. Let's review it. First, we had a pre-show match between Birthright versus Shiloh Hill, Ren Sinclair, EK Prosper, and Hank and Tank. Not much of substance storyline-wise in this match, but it was a very fun match, and they need to start doing these pre-show matches on the main roster. By the way, it was won by the team of babyfaces, which I did not predict correctly. I predicted that Birthright would win because they're the actual faction, but not that big of a deal. They'd start doing these matches, especially for WrestleMania that has like a 2 to 3 hour pre-show. That would be perfect for people like Kairi Sane, Julia, Kit Wilson, Danhausen, people like that. It would be perfect. Please start doing this on the main roster. The first match of the night was a women's triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship between Lola Vice, JC Jane, and the newly called up Kendall Gray, who I predicted to win this match. I was not correct. It ended up being Lola Vice. And I like this decision. I didn't see it happening because she was doing stuff in AAA. But now that I think about it, they don't really care that much about the mixed tag titles in AAA, it looks like. So it makes sense that she won. I thought she wasn't going to because she had the mixed tag titles. But now we have double champ Lola Vice, and I'm very intrigued to see what Lola Vice can do with the Women's NXT Championship. Was she ready or not? I'm not really sure, but I'm excited to see. I'm definitely intrigued. I am not upset that Kendall Gray didn't win. I'm completely fine with that because Kendall Gray has so much more time to develop. And, I mean, she's obviously going to be a huge future star, but she needs time to develop before she can get to the Women's NXT Championship. Lola Vice is definitely more prepared. So I didn't get any points for my prediction, but I really like this result, and I am excited to see where Lola Vice goes from here. I think she can be a great champion, and I think we could be potentially looking at a JC Jane call-up after her dominant NXT Championship reign. Let me know your thoughts. Next, we had a match for the NXT Tag Team Championships between the Vanity Project and Los Americanos. Another amazing match. And okay, let me backtrack for a second here. The Women's NXT Championship match was incredible. I mean, oh my god, it was absolutely amazing. I didn't emphasize that enough when I was talking about it, so I just wanted to go back and say that. This match was also great. It ended up being won by the Vanity Project. Also, El Grande Americano hit the loaded mask on Jackson Drake, I believe his name is, and he did a whole backflip. The sell job was incredible. It looked like he took his head off. It was amazing. However, he did get back up and helped the Vanity Project retain, smacking one of them with the metal plate, allowing them to get the pin. I did predict this, so I get a point for that, at least. I don't think anybody really expected Los Americanos to win, but that's okay, because this was the right outcome, and the predictable outcome isn't always bad. As Sati Zap likes to say, it's okay to let 2 + 2 = 4. I love this match. I like the result. Yeah, that's about it. Next, we had a match between Sol Ruka and Zarya. A great match. Another great match. Like, every match on this show was great. Like, all of them were incredible. Sol Ruka hit this nasty soul snatcher on the ramp, and oh my god, it looked like it hurt. Sol Ruka did end up winning, and if you watch my prediction video, I said I think she will win, but I wanted Zarya to win. That didn't come true, but I did at least get my prediction right. I don't think this was necessarily a bad decision. Sol Ruka, I mean, probably next goes after the Women's NXT Championship, I think. I don't really know exactly what else she would do. As for Zarya, I don't know. I really don't know what Zarya can do here. Maybe she can start going after Tatum Paxley for the Women's North American Championship. She's a heel. Tatum Paxley's a babyface. So I don't know. The reason I wanted Zarya to win was just because I think she needed the win more than Solruka. Yeah, that. So I get the decision. I guess I'm okay with it, but I just don't know exactly what you do with Zarya next. Next, we had a match between Miles Bourne and Johnny Wrestling, but it was not a good enough version of Johnny Wrestling because he did not come out on top. It was a great match, just like every other one on this show, on this card. And I thought Candice LeRae was going to betray him, going to betray Johnny Gargano, but she didn't. I absolutely understand why they had Miles Bourne win it. I think probably was the most logical right decision, because, you know, they are mega pushing Miles Bourne to be a huge future cornerstone of NXT, and the best way to do that is, first of all, have him dethrone one of, if not the greatest North American champion of all time, and then go on to have a nice, long, great reign after, and I could see him holding this until, like, the summer. As for Johnny Gargano, I think he's getting released, man. I really do, unfortunately. Now that he got shot down by Obafemi once, finally got back up, became Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Takeover, and then he got shot down again by Miles Bourne. I don't see this going anywhere. I don't want him to get released. I really don't, but I think when he does get released, assuming he does, he will likely just go to AEW and reunite with Tommaso Ciampa. I think Candice LeRae will create like a faction with the Motor City Machine Guns, since she already helped them win a match, literally just out of nowhere. So it's looking like that's what's going to happen. Maybe turn Candice LeRae and Motor City Machine Guns heel, because they both need a character change. And like I said, Johnny Gargano's likely going to get released. I did, however, predict that Miles Bourne was going to win, so at least I got that correct. However, what I did not predict was Dion Lennox attacking him after the match, setting up Miles Bourne's next challenger. And I think we could be looking maybe at the beginning of the end for Dark State. They've been getting really frustrated with each other over the past few weeks. Saquon Sugars said to Dion Lennox that it feels like he's just doing everything for himself. He obviously denied it. I think they could potentially be looking at kicking out Dion Lennox and, you know, Dion Lennox going on to win the North American title, win the NXT championship. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm excited for this feud. Next, we had a match for the Women's North American Championship between Tatum Paxley and the Glamour Blake Monroe. And I really did think that Blake Monroe was going to win this. However, she did not. Tatum Paxley ended up winning, which is actually what I wanted to happen. And I am very glad that I was wrong. Blake Monroe should be going after the Women's NXT Championship. It's as simple as that. She's too big for the Women's North American Championship, at least in my opinion. Tatum Paxley, I think, is doing great with the title, and I do think she deserves a proper reign. Another great match. I think this is the right decision. Send Blake Monroe into the main event title picture. Let Tatum Paxley have a nice, juicy, long reign with that title. Or at least, not necessarily a long reign, but just a really good reign. Next, we had a match for the NXT Championship in the main event of Stand and Deliver between Joe Hendry, Tony D'Angelo, Ricky Saints, and Ethan Page. Again, I got so many comments for this in one of my videos where I called him Ethan Page. People think I don't know how to say Ethan Page. I know how to say Ethan Page. The reason I say Ethan Page is because Santino Marella called him that. Another great match, a bit of a car crash. There was this really cool spot where Ethan Page, Ethan Page, and Ricky Saints were fighting on the announce table. Tony D ran up the steps and speared both of them through the announce table. And it was really cool. And then, I mean, he went in the ring and he beat Joe Hendry. He hit him with a spear, hit him with a nasty choke slam. And after so long, I just looked it up, after 5 years of being in NXT, he finally won the NXT championship, and there was a great call from Vic Joseph, I'd like to add, after he won the title, talking about how Tony D has seen all the people he came here with graduate, Trick Williams, Braun Breaker, you name them. It was a great call, a great moment. Very happy for Tony D'Angelo. And I actually somehow managed to predict this. I really felt like it was a toss-up between anybody in this match. But I ended up getting it right. And I'm very happy with that. I think this was the right decision. Very excited to see what Tony D can do with the title. Hopefully he graduates sometime soon. But yeah, overall, I think Stand and Deliver was a pretty good show. Oh, and also, let me mention this. Sexy Red's return was like, why did they even advertise it? She was in 2 backstage segments. What's the point of even advertising it at that point? I mean, she did nothing. She just talked with the wrestlers and then started twerking with Lola Vice. There was no point in her being there. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this episode of NXT Stand and Deliver. I thought this was overall a great show. There wasn't 45 minutes in between each match, filled with Snickers and DoorDash ads. This was incredible. I really loved this show. It felt like it wasn't taking forever. But yeah, let me know what you thought. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and